Hello, my name is Doug Leisure. I wanted to record a very short video, but today what I want to cover is the concept of printing the donation summary and detail information after you've completed your weekly entry. So the concept would be simply that we completed everything and maybe the printer jammed and the paper didn't come out, or maybe that particular week we said no to printing and now we want to go back later and print it. So let's start with one of the weekly giving records. So that's the typical name of that backup copy. It's a standard Excel file, but it's a backup copy of that particular week's detail information and summary information. Let me open it up and take a quick look at it. I'll just pick one of these. It doesn't matter which one for the purposes of our video. Let me drag it over here. Okay, so this is the contents of that Excel file, the weekly giving record. The date is year, month, day, and then a time. Okay, so for June 6th, June 1st, that was our donation, and then this is the file that's saved. Everything's highlighted here. So if we do the normal printing operation in Excel, that's what we're going to use. There is no menu here. This is not a macro enabled Excel file. It's a standard Excel file. So we have to use the normal Excel methodologies for printing. So let's go to File, Print, and then it's showing us a preview of what's going to be printed when we hit the button. Okay, and so what I wanted to show you, first of all, what is coming up by default is the last thing that would have been printed, which is our summary. Okay, so this is the donation summary information coming out in a portrait mode. So so again, if you're reprinting, you probably want both. So you would just come over here and click the print button, and then it'll print. Now on mine it's incorrectly pointing to a PDF file, so we would choose our printer and then click print, and we would get the paper coming out as we want it. Now that's the summary. So here's the tricky part. What do we do then about the detail? So what we're going to do is we are going to go back. So I just hit the back arrow, back to the Excel file, and we're going to highlight, or select is a term used, to tell it which rows and columns we want to print. So we're going to start up here in A1, the very top, over through AD, that's the name of our specials, down through our totals. Okay, so we are selecting or highlighting that, and that is the information we want to print. Okay, you will have more or less rows in your particular backup copy, depending on how many donations you got. But we just highlight from the top left, A1, down through the totaling row, over through AD, where we have our the name of our specials. Highlight that, and then we do the same thing as before. File, Print. Now if you look over to the right, we're still seeing the previous thing that was printed, the summary. So what we have to do is just simply come down through here and tell it what we want to print. Not the previous item, but we're going to click on the little down arrow here and tell it that we want to print the selection. So the rows and columns we've selected, that's what we want to print. Look over here to the right, and that's what's displaying. However, it's showing it as the other one was the orientation, which is portrait. We probably, and again you can look at it and see if it fits or not, but you might need to switch it to landscape. All right, well that sure looks a whole lot more readable to me, based on the number of columns that I have Portrait might work for a lot of you, but in this case we needed to make it landscape in order to get something more readable. And again, this is my preview. So now that I've told it to print the selection and if needed change to landscape orientation, and I look at it and it looks good, then we could just hit the button and click print. Okay, that is what you needed to know how to reprint your weekly donation, the detail, which we're seeing here, and the summary. So that's how you would do it. All right, thank you, and I will see you in a future video.